sports betting podcast where we bet on kind of not quite exactly the full sports gauntlet of sports, but just a little bit of the other things. I am your host, Kyle Ayers, joined as always by my co-host, Austin Huff. Thank you. That is, once again, throat-singing monk Austin Huff. Austin's decided to live a life of NFL celibacy now that his team's...
Why do we care about sports? Like,
Before,
why?
here, I'm going to do this thing where I explain what the podcast is before we get into what has inevitably ailed
No, that's
Austin in the
fine.
last
That's
week.
fine.
Every week we have a new guest on. They get $1,000 fake dollars to bet across 6 bets Austin and I come up with, but these aren't your traditional bets. These are some odd bets. These are all over the place. Over under showing this person in the stands, bizarre amount of flags in this way. We do just come up with stuff that it has to do with sports, but you're not going to find on Sportsbook anywhere else.
Kyle and I are not good at a lot of things in this world,
Right.
but there is one thing that we have found that we are the Michael Jordan of, and it is
Yeah.
coming up with lines of
It is.
ridiculously
I am
odd
the Michael
bets.
Jordan of betting.
No, of fake betting.
Yeah, and real betting. I'm also bad at it. Except my dad's still alive. But definitely,
Oh,
I'm
man,
I'm the
you
Michael
didn't get
Jordan of
suspended
being
from work. You
I'm the
didn't get
Michael.
suspended from
Yeah,
work
exactly.
secretly.
The Michael Jordan of my dad living through my betting ails.
Wait, if you're the Michael Jordan, like in the comedy world, and you had to retire, what would be your baseball? What other profession would you get into that would be your baseball for a couple of years?
Theft.
Well, you are a Chiefs fan, so that makes sense.
I'm the Michael Jordan of paying referees. Yeah, I'm a Michael Jordan. I wouldn't even. I would be the LeBron James of Chiefs fans of bank robberies.
Yeah.
So I
So
would be
what
like the
animal
one where
are
people
you
are like, I
dressing
think he
up
might
as when
be.
you rob the banks?
Oh, I'm putting on a mask of the guy's face who of Chiefsaholic. I'm finding his face and putting it on, and then I'm robbing banks as him.
You're gonna look like the grandma in like Goldilocks or whatever.
I'll be a drag queen named Robin Banks, who
Wow, my
actually
what big
is
teeth
dressed
do
up
you
as him.
have? It's just you.
So last week, here's what we happened in some of these bets. Last week, Josh Brubaker was on here playing for
Uh,
the Aiden Hutchinson Leg Improvement Foundation, just trying to
yeah,
get some leg parts for Aiden Hutchinson.
the
Josh
tibia
Brubaker,
fibula donation center, I believe. Yeah.
yes, the Tib Fib, I called it, which sounds like multiple Knicks coaches.
I
And
no, wait, actually, hold on. Let me check my tib fib. Yeah, I've got over like 10,000 steps today.
I thought that's just when Coach Tibbs lies. Is that a Tib Fib? Because he said he wasn't going to play Jalen Brunson that much, and it looks like he was lying.
That was a tib
Uh,
fib.
$1,333.34 made in pure profit by Josh Brubaker last week. Last week was a
Yeah.
pretty good winning week for people. Well, here's some bets, and here's where they hit. We had over under amount of times in the Chiefs 49ers game. They mentioned a player who played for both. Over under at 3.5. Under. They really only brought it up
Really?
once. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Charvarius Ward, who I think is because of all the injuries that were happening in the game and weird other stuff. They had like
Yeah.
no downtime when a game is going normal to talk about prepackaged stuff. And it helps that Tom Brady doesn't know what he's doing. Although this was
Well,
his best game.
legally, Tom Brady's not allowed to mention any other players because it's considered
It's
tampering
truly
now
like
that he's the owner of
he's
the
not even allowed to
Raiders.
mention football anymore. He was just
Yeah,
watching the game. He's like, it's crazy the shape of it. Two party hats touching
it
butts.
it can bounce
Yeah.
differently
But he's not even
if
allowed
it
to
hits
talk
the
about
ground.
fumbles because now he's the partial owner of the team who got screwed by one of his when they called it a forward pass. Uh, so there was that bet. I bet I was the only one who bet on that. I was also the only one who bet
That
on the
that is kind of crazy that Tom Brady has now gone full circle where it's
yeah
the team that
what
literally
started his
made his
career.
career,
Yeah,
made his career, and now he owns them
yeah.
literally.
It's
I
also
would
very
I would be
funny that he
pissed if
won't
I was
let
a
Patrick
Raiders fan.
Mahomes own anything. Mahomes owns the Raiders, and Brady's like, yeah, but I still own him a little bit more.
Yeah, right. I
Uh,
would be pissed if I was a Raiders fan.
Here's some. Yeah, that's the worst thing that's happened to them. Well, you can be pissed if you're a Raiders fan. The Dodgers are in the World Series. You're watching that.
I would be pissed if I was a Raiders fan because I've still got 8 more years on my sentence.
Yeah, if you're a Raiders fan, your baseball team's either in the World Series or leaving your town. We had this bet. The Jets played the Steelers. We had Jets fuel can't melt steel teams. Over under 1.5 plays of exactly 9 or 11 yards. Over. There were two in the first quarter. So I didn't even have to
Wow.
keep looking for that one. And there were no United
And no
93-yard
90,
plays.
no
No.
90.
No
Jeez.
multiplier. I maybe should have done that as United 93-yard drives would have been a better chance, but
Yeah, yeah.
um, music shitty miracle bet. Are there any flags in the Titans game on special teams? There was a flag on the first punt of the game,
The very first special teams play outside of the opening kickoff, the very first special
which made
teams
it easy
play.
for me to do the
It was
research because I just opened up the tab for
four
punt and it said flag.
4 plays into the game, and it already hit. And someone tweeted at me. I believe it was at Rocky Top TN tweeted at me. It was like, "Well, this bet already hit one
Yeah.
one
Couldn't
one
have
play
couldn't have
into the
saved
game."
all the bets this week made it
But
easy on me.
it did have the option to flip if the Titans pulled off
Oh well,
the
yeah, but
Music
once we
City
saw that
Miracle.
first punt, we knew that wasn't going to happen.
They were winning 10-7 at halftime, and if the games were only played to halftime, the Titans would be 4-1-1 this year.
Yeah, they probably also wouldn't call it halftime.
End time. I wish they called it end time.
Then we had the sexy guys 6 to 9 touchdowns or scoring plays for Burrow, Barrios, Kelsey, Jason Kelsey counting as a Kelsey Travis modifier and Owens. There were not six. There were
Barry,
two. There were two.
Barrios going down on the IR like literally
Yeah.
Sunday morning did not help
So we
that
all
bet
took yeah, we
that
all took
much.
the under on World's Sexiest Men nominees touchdowns scored. Um and that one hit. And then the last bet was Austin's birthday. Because it was October 21st, over and under 1.5 teams on Monday Night Football scoring 10 to 21 points. And the over hit. Two teams did, both in the same game.
Yeah,
And
there we
so
go.
a lot of wins. Like we said, Josh Brubaker made $1,300. Austin, you made $1,400 last week across your
Look,
bets.
do not let me get hot, okay? Don't
So
let
far,
me
you
get
have
hot.
prevented yourself from the heat. Um, I won $950, so you gained on me. The current score, I'm at $4,640, and you're at $1,500.
Are you feeling the pressure, dude? I'm coming back. Coming back.
I am feeling the pressure, ish. Uh,
You're like it's my trigeminal neuralgia.
you're right.
That's what it is.
Well, the problem was I just tried to pinch to zoom on a notebook, and so I'm feeling as stupid as I've ever felt in my entire life. I don't know if you can look at the video and see me lynch down, like reach down. I tried to pinch to zoom on physical paper, and I think my brain is gone. I think I have no more brain.
That's
I think it's
yeah.
gone.
That is
Uh,
that is way too
But we're
funny.
already getting into week 8 of the NFL season. October is almost over. It feels very, very weird to me that it's
I,
already
I'm
NFL
I'm
week 8.
I'm actually glad. That means we're almost halfway done with this monstrosity known as football season. I'm so ready for it
When
to
is the
just be
Titans bye
over.
this week or this season?
They already had it.
Oh,
They had it
well,
the
that
first week.
stinks.
The first week you could have a bye week. So
And
I'm
they don't have
I'm
any potential for non-Sunday games. I was just looking to see if there's any times you might have 10 days off, but nope.
Kyle, if you asked me, would you rather watch every Titans game for the rest of the season or be waterboarded? I would stop to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, especially depends on what kind of information they're trying to get out of you. The information is just like if you still like the Titans and you refuse to give it up. Either
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
I at least, I would. It's nice to set up for future seasons and stuff. The Hopkins trade happened this morning of the recording.
yeah. Yep.
And while I don't think he's going to go on the Chiefs and like make the Pro Bowl or anything like that, I'm happy he's on the team.
He's
Um,
good. Like you see right away, like, oh, why he's one of the best wide
he's a Hall
receivers
of Fame
in the
wide receiver.
sport.
He's a Hall of Fame wide
Yeah.
receiver.
Yeah.
And I
And you
think
you
that
can see that just in the way he runs his routes
I'm
and the way
very,
he gets
very
open.
happy because I feel like amongst players who could drop into the Chiefs' complicated offense, he's the one that I think you can leave on an island and just tell to do something every play almost. You know what I mean? You can be like,
Yeah.
hey, everybody in the huddle, we're running this, blah, 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 blah. Hopkins, run this.
And he's really good at doing what the Chiefs are really good at doing, and that's finding
Football.
open zones. Finding,
Oh,
well, yeah,
yeah.
that is football. Yes, it's winning. No,
I think
actually,
he's good in the
I
red
I
zone, which is the Chiefs' struggle, and he's good. I'm happy about it. And also, it's a conditional fifth round pick where basically the Chiefs have to make the Super Bowl for it to become a fourth round pick, and that would feel fine to me.
Did we talk about this on a previous podcast about the DeAndre Hopkins curse that I'm like
Yes.
slowly like there it is weird that like every team he has been on has sucked and now he's like actually on a good team for the first time in his career. Like a really good team. Um I look if things go right. But you said you can drop him in. That's the one thing he will not do. He will not drop the football. He
That's
he
great.
cannot. He's physically unable to drop a
The
football.
I don't know if he's going to start in a couple days for Chiefs or play, but the Chiefs wide receiver one is a rookie. Their wide receiver two is Justin Watson. Who is that? It sounds like a Madden generated player. And their wide receiver three is Sky Moore. Wide receiver
I'm pretty
three.
sure Justin Watson works in my company's IT
Yeah,
department.
I think Justin Watson is most neighbors.
Justin Watson, yeah, this is my neighbor
So,
Justin.
I'm looking forward to that. If the Chiefs playing the Raiders, who knows what's going on? It's so funny because it's the last time they played, the Raiders won, and it was such a big deal. And this would be such an incredible big deal matchup game had everything not gone in complete opposite directions for the two teams since then.
Yeah,
Where the
yeah,
Raiders
no, you're
hired a
right.
guy who seems to be a bad coach based off of beating the Chiefs in the weirdest fluke game of all time, and then the Chiefs won every game since then.
Who's even starting for the Raiders? Is it Gardner Minshew? Because didn't Aiden O'Connell get hurt? Isn't he on
I don't even know
IR
what
now?
position you're talking about.
That just goes to show you where the Raiders
You
are at
you
right
lost me
now.
at who's starting for the Raiders before you even specified. I was like, I
Yeah,
don't know. I think
yeah.
specifically what happened is a Chiefs fan buried a Chiefs flag, with this is true, in underneath the Raiders stadium while they're building it, and they're cursed. And I am here for that 100%. They have to destroy the whole stadium to get the flag out, and they won't do that. Their owner
I
won't even get a haircut. I don't think they're going to renovate the new stadium.
who Antonio Pierce is the Raiders head coach,
Yeah.
right? I think they should fire him and hire not John Gruden, but just an iPad that is constantly playing just the new John Gruden videos on loop. Yeah, this is what got me feeling really nicey. Got Baker Mayfield throwing for 324 yards and 4 touchdowns. Got me feeling
Oh
really
man.
nicey.
It'll I don't know what
Whoa.
could possibly be worse. It is hiring a coach based off of vibes off of the flukest game of all time where the Raiders had two defensive touchdowns in two plays and
Uh,
6 yards and
yeah.
won the game. And just it's such a Raiders thing to do to base off. You know what I mean? I'm surprised they didn't make their coach run the 40 to see if he could coach their team. It's
Yeah.
like such a Raiders move. And I don't know if he doesn't seem to be that good of a coach. But they're also all over the place. They traded away the reason their best player was on the team and then wondered why their best player was upset. They're going to lose their player with the most X's in the history of a first name in the league.
Yeah.
I love it. You love to see it.
Are there any games outside of because we talk a lot of Chiefs and Titans on this
Yeah.
podcast, obviously, but are there any games outside of our two games that you are
Most of my focus ends up landing in my fantasy. I'm excited to see if Cooper Cup plays again on
yeah.
Thursday, and I'm always excited to watch. I mean, the Cowboys play the 49ers in the battle of this is our years, I like to call it,
Yeah,
where both of them are
yeah.
really it's both of their year this year, yet I think they're combined 6-7 records right now.
Right. The fact that
And
the Cowboys are not in Southern California is so shocking to me. I know they do their training camp out there in Oxnard, but I
yeah,
feel like the Cowboys give off such Southern California fan vibes.
yeah,
And I feel like that would be the ultimate Southern California, Northern California rivalry between the
sure.
Niners and the Cowboys.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense if they were here instead of like the Rams or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then
The
I'm having a really good time watching any Ravens game because Lamar is out of his mind.
yeah, I too am enjoying watching what the Ravens are doing this season. Derrick Henry has more rushing yards than the Titans have passing yards. Uh, it's awesome. It's
I've
great.
never seen
No, but it
two
is
people who are the
nice.
same height yet such different shapes than Lamar
I
Jackson and Derrick Henry.
When Derrick was with the Titans, I felt like I was pulling my hair out trying to tell people Derrick is still
Yeah.
still has a lot left in the tank. And nobody believed me because everyone goes off of the same thing of like, well, the shelf life of a running back. Running backs only get 4 years. He's 30
Yeah.
years old
I
now.
really
He's not
truly
going to,
think that with the way that people it'll be a little bit like I think careers are becoming longer and everything as players manage their
yeah.
careers for
Well,
longer
and
because
just the way he's built differently. He's a
yeah,
defensive end that plays running back, and we've never
right.
seen anyone like the
He
closest
might
thing is
be
what, like Brandon Jacobs, maybe? Like, I
he
don't,
might be like a singular player because he has I mean, you look at how many carries he's had through high school. They're like, oh, in high school he had 28 a game, and then in
yeah, yeah,
college he
yeah.
had 16 a game for X, and he played at Alabama, so there was an extra every XYZ games, like two a
Yeah.
season. It's wild how many games. It's sort of like I think about it in the same way as like Mahomes and Kelsey have played like an extra season plus in
Yeah,
their
right,
time
right.
together,
It's like
where you're like, well,
LeBron.
this all
LeBron has
has to,
played an
dude.
extra 2 seasons
LeBron,
based
they're
off of
like,
the
oh,
number.
you look at his playoff records, and they're like, oh, he's averaged 30 points a game. You're like, well, yeah, but it's the playoffs. They're like, he has 165 playoff games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not a small sample size.
Like
Like
that, and
it's
half of those are beating Toronto.
yeah. Derek is and he trains differently and like
Yeah.
he's fast too. That's what a lot of people don't realize how
He's still
fast he is.
fast.
He's
He
got
was at 21
the
and a half
fifth
miles an hour in his
yeah, the
long run
fifth
the other day.
fastest ball carrier speed of anyone in the sport this year. Like
Yeah.
he's so good.
His
And I'm
pads
like
are so
and
little on him that he doesn't slow him down at all.
right.
It looks
And
like
like
he's, yeah.
he was good last year too. Like
Yeah.
he rushed for 1,300 yards. Just the offensive line was
Never,
absolutely
ever
crap.
underestimate a shitty team making a guy care less. I don't think it'll make
Man,
them and or I think people rank what is important to an NFL team. I think the reason for the Chiefs' grand amount of success, while a lot of it is Patrick Mahomes, is coaching consistency.
oh yeah,
They only have two players who've taken a single snap on defense who weren't on the team last year for the full
yeah,
year.
right.
That's consistency and communication. The same with the offense is so many all the frustrations are from new changes, blah 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 blah, receivers and all this. Coaching, consistency, team consistency is such a huge thing in a game
Well,
that is like
I
such an offensive line consistency.
I was literally just telling someone this weekend. I legitimately feel like Marcus Mariota would have been a great quarterback in the NFL. Not like, maybe not one of like the best or whatever, but like probably a top 10 quarterback in the league if he didn't have five different offensive coordinators in
Right.
his first
Look
five
what happened
seasons.
to Alex Smith when he got consistency. Good,
Yeah,
good,
exactly.
good, great. Like then very good, very good, very good, great. And then his
And
Joe
Andy Reid just knows how to coach
But even
good
Harbaugh
teams
with
like
some
and
Alex,
make quarterbacks better and
I think
yeah.
changing up coordinators is bad. I think it stunts someone's growth immediately. I think that look at Darnold when he has any sort of consistency and good offensive line play.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think a big deal about what's happening with the Lions is the consistency that they have on offense and their play calling and their faith in what their players and coach. It's just like it's vibe and consistency and coaching is so important. Think about how many players the Chiefs have had Marcus Peters leave, Charvarius Ward leave,
Uh-huh.
the L'Jarius Sneed leave, and just another guy has become. And then they just had Jalen Watson, their second best corner, who's maybe playing best this year. He's out the
Well,
rest of the
and
year, and I have not even worried about because I think another guy will step into this insane system.
the most important player who hasn't left isn't even a player. It's Spags. Like the
Yeah,
fact that he hasn't taken another head coaching job and stayed as a
I
coordinator.
think
Like it's
if
just
you can get a
like
coordinator who's failed and at a promotion, so they're maybe at their ceiling, grab him. Grab Sala. You know what I mean? If you can get
yeah,
Sala to come be a defensive coordinator and it doesn't look like he'll ever leave. Another good thing is Spags is old, and I think it
right.
really helps.
And Arthur Smith, if Arthur Smith and Mike Vrabel stayed together past 2019 or whenever he left, I do feel like that window that the Titans
Look
had
at the
to
Steelers
be
are good
good
every
would have
year.
been open so much longer. Yeah, and and the Steelers, like offensively, they're starting to put it together, and that's because Arthur Smith is a really
Right.
good offensive
But
like coordinator, like
they
is a
have the
good
same
offensive
coach,
line.
and this your team will have the Steelers have had the same vibe every year I've been
The Steelers,
alive.
the Steelers, it's the most consistent thing. Like you never
Yeah.
know like what to expect except for the
They're
Pittsburgh
gonna put up
Steelers.
scoregamis, but they got odd. I don't think enough can be said about Kansas City sports as a whole turned around when the owner of the Chiefs stopped Andy Reid from going to an Arizona Cardinals interview.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
the Chiefs owner got on a plane and went to Philadelphia and stopped Andy had their interview on the tarmac there and stopped Andy Reid from going to the Cardinals job. And I'm like, that's it. They went from
Jeez.
a 2-14 team to the playoffs the next year. They went from having the record for the most players who'd killed themselves in front of the stadium in one season to
That
the
they
next year
do.
not having any.
They still hold that record.
They
Yeah.
definitely are, I think, are tied at least at this point. I don't know how close Junior Seau was. And it is a record to be broken. It's not Randy Johnson bird hitting. This is one unfortunately I could see built being broken, especially if the Browns old quarterback can hobble his way outside the stadium. And I just think that this is getting off the rails.
I
Coaching's so important. It's how you figure out how to just be in these. The Chiefs are in every game, and then you're like,
right.
well, they're not going to get out coached.
The No, they're not. And but real quick, speaking of the you very briefly mentioned the Browns.
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson, I feel like instead of doing a moment of silence for the rest of his career, I think we should do a moment of loudness. Just because screw him.
yeah. I
So
mean, what
if you
a what a awful that is what happened right then in that game with him getting hurt and the fans cheering and the players being confused is what the Chiefs season was the year before Andy Reid was there. A guy,
yeah,
I mean, it was horrific. Horrific thing that happened with Javon Belcher, but the vibes were off. Scott Pioli was the GM. There were banners flying around to fire him. No one knew what was going on. They had wide receivers playing quarterback. It's just it, it's vibe. But that team had a bunch of Pro Bowlers, and it was all just
yeah,
energy, vibe, and coaching consistency. And I think that if teams give up on quarterbacks too fast, they put quarterbacks in bad positions too fast. And look at Baker. That's the
yeah,
example.
right.
He's the MVP favorite right now, I think, him or Lamar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he's had the same system for 3 years, and is all of a sudden like a top five. Looks like he should have had Oklahoma the whole time. And he
That's
brought
the
his yeah,
there's just very little patience. There's very little patience amongst fan bases. There's
yeah.
very little patience amongst coaches and front
Everyone's
offices
playing to
because
keep their job instead of like do
yes,
great things.
right. And they're just making decisions that are not
Yeah.
beneficial for long-term
Versus the
success.
foresight to bench Mahomes for his first season and the foresight to like keep Baker around, even though he seemed middle of the pack for that first year, but you could see that guys liked him and it was the right thing. Anyways, we do bets.
Yeah. If you will now join me and lower your head and ah
Wait, I
there we
might
go.
even be able to do it we'll do one more moment. Oh, never mind. I was gonna try and yeah, no, hold on. Everyone hold on. If you're listening, hold
Okay.
on.
Everyone guys, hold on.
Everyone, hold
Do
on.
not touch that dial.
Okay. Hold on. Everyone, please, just for an hour. Okay.
Guys,
We'll
do
do
not
one moment of do a moment here for.
a moment
Uh,
of loudness for Deshaun Watson. Ah. Oh, nice. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
I'm very
Uh,
proud of you.
oh, there's Kyle's dad.
yeah.
It couldn't have happened to a worse
Couldn't have
guy.
happened to another guy.
And also screw the Browns for that contract. I'm glad they're having to eat this year. I have
I
no ill
want
will
I
against
want them
Browns
to get on the other
fans.
side of this completely for Brown fans. I really do want it to
Yeah.
be like a page turn and get all the way back around because it's fun when the Browns are sad sacks of
I
shit
would
we
love
can
it
all
if
root
they
for.
cut ties with Deshaun Watson and made Jameis Winston their starter. I would love that,
Or
because Jameis
even
Winston is fun.
anyone else. Some dude I've
The
never heard of.
other game I'm really excited for this weekend, Bears Commanders. I think that
Oh
it's the
yeah.
game of the week, Fox game of the week, 325. It's been flexed into that move, and it's Jaden Daniels
And
against
that's like a
Caleb
DK
Williams.
Metcalf level of flexing. Do you know what I mean? They're like, we need to get
Oh
this in
yeah,
here because this is a strong potential. I
it is
think this
very
is a
strong.
litmus test for both of the teams.
Yeah.
Uh, what
And like the Bears defense, do not sleep on the Bears defense. Bears have really good defense. And Jaden Daniels is a really good rookie quarterback so far. And Caleb is really starting to like
right?
get
I
hot.
mean, people were already like, is Caleb a bust in week 4? And you're like, what is the
Right.
patience level? This is the greatest prospect in 7 years.
Yeah.
It's the best prospect since Lawrence, easily.
I was always hesitant to get on the hype train with Caleb Williams just
Mhm.
based off of the fact that he didn't even win the Pac-12 in college and now he's going to the NFL and like everyone was like getting ready to crown him as the next Michael Jordan here in
Yeah.
Chicago and I'm like let's pump the brakes there, but I do think he can be really good. I think he can be very, very, very good for the
Yeah.
Bears. And he's starting to put it together. And he came into a situation unlike Justin Fields. Because when I first moved here, it was when Justin Fields was drafted. And everyone was doing the same thing with Justin Fields. He's the heir apparent. They're crowning him. But the difference there is Justin Fields came into a really bad team, like
Yeah.
roster wise. And
Yeah.
now
He was the
Caleb
best player on the
Williams-
team on the offense when he joined the team.
Yeah, no, you're right. And then now over the years, shout out to Ryan Poles and their GM. Like that is
Shout out Kansas City.
he.
That's where he came from.
What? Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Damn, Titans got to freaking hire someone from Kansas City. He is like really like up that roster, and now like Caleb Williams, when he was drafted, joins a team that's really good.
Yeah.
And now it's all coming together. Like he's really starting to get his footing, and their game in London against the Jaguars, they just dominated. And look, I'm excited for that game. I think it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Well, folks, we got good guests this week.
Yeah.
We get right into it with him roasting Austin, and I think you're gonna have a good time. A returning guest.
I know. Okay.
And honestly, I think this is my best. This is my best lineup as far as bets, I think, of any of the weeks. So enjoy
how's
it.
that
Enjoy
for
your
a
week
tease?
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to beat the 9/11 bet, but
also, how's that for a tease for your bets and a tease for me? Because it's basically okay.
Okay, everybody. Enjoy week 8. And let us know what you think for bets, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode.
Love you. Hey, here's Chris Rongey. All right, we are joined now by a returning Doing Lines guest, a guy who we know and love. He is the host of a radio show in St. Louis where two interested hosts committed to the idea that you can be informed and entertained without being angry. And it airs daily from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and features a mixture of news, politics, sports, and pop culture. Listeners should expect to hear a balanced conversation featuring two highly relatable personalities who have a unique rapport on and off the air. I'm, of course, referring to the Chris and Amy show on KMOX. It is Chris Rongey. Chris, how are you?
Actually, that's bullshit because I'm angry most of the time. Every day I come into work, I'm pissed off.
This thing happens where you don't want to be angry, and then something upsets you, and then you're mad at yourself for being angry, and then it's over. And people who are listening won't be able to see this. He has a top 4 Mizzou helmet of all time, also over his shoulder as far as Mizzou helmet designs.
I'm in the sports office at KMOX right now.
Oh wow,
I didn't see them sitting back there. Yeah, there's your stupid Mizzou helmet.
Okay, easy, dude.
I would say the best Mizzou jersey or merch or anything over any of our shoulders in any of our videos is that helmet. Austin, would you agree?
No, I would not agree.
At least I would say the most used of any of them.
Okay, all right.
All
right.
Of all the Mizzou Mizzou memorabilia, that jersey looks spick and span, buddy.
I'll have you know that is a 2008 Sun Bowl jersey, or 2006 Sun Bowl jersey.
Is that what they gave the walk-ons?
Okay. Yes, it is. Yes, it is what they gave the walk-ons. At Chris Rongey on Twitter and Instagram for more of this wittiness. If you don't live in the St. Louis area or own the Odyssey app where you could listen to his show,
Austin's the reason they don't call them run-ons.
Okay. All right. Rangy, we're all people of means here on this podcast.
Do you think you're taller than Rudy?
Okay.
Do you think that you could have made Notre Dame's football
Austin,
team?
I'll even give you any Rudy, any of the prominent ones, whether they've been in a movie or Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Gobert? Because no, I am not taller than him.
No? Okay.
No, I have given COVID to fewer people though.
Not no people, but definitely not 8 to 10 million one week.
Yeah. All right, Ron, listen,
Yeah,
you obviously work in radio, so you are very well off. You have plenty of money. And because we are all people of means, Kyle and I are also very rich because we host this podcast.
obviously.
We
Hmm.
we like to in turn take the fake money that we win from this podcast and donate it to a fake good cause. So what is the fake charity that you will be playing for this week?
Well, I was thinking about who the neediest are of all of us, and I am going to donate my winnings. Do I have to donate all of my winnings or just
I mean,
some of them?
it's preferred. You
We
don't get to
actually won't
keep
even see
any of
what
your
you
fake
end up
winnings.
donating. We just get the screenshot of the receipt, you know?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
right.
They don't put the amounts on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we're not
Good.
the IRS or the
Oh,
FIRS.
so I don't have to worry about deducting.
No,
All right.
no.
Anyway, I think I've been thinking of the neediest of all of us, and I have decided to give my winnings to the VFI Foundation, which is the Vacations for Influencers. Because if anybody deserves a vacation, Instagram doofus. So I think that's where I want my money to go. Because
Okay.
of all of us who deserve a vacation, why not a free
Maybe they'd
one?
be able to
A
finally
free
get some good
vacation.
photos, you know?
You got to get some good photos. And
Yeah.
really, it's not for the influencer themselves. It's for the dipshit that has to hold the camera and take
Yeah,
photos of
yeah.
them all vacation.
The Instagram boyfriends of the world.
There's there cannot be a worse job in the world than Instagram boyfriend. I don't care
Yeah.
how hot your girlfriend is or hot your boyfriend is, whatever. Dude, being an Instagram boyfriend would suck
Imagine
so
you got to
much
keep
butt.
telling your significant other how they should employ you over a tripod.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what? Take the winnings and buy a tripod. You
And
dork.
you have to get so many different angles and so many you have to get a couple so I can pick the best one.
I'm
I'm
excited
One
to
of
sure.
my
see. Oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. One of my favorite not Twitter, but Instagram accounts is influencers in the wild.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
great. So
They're
great.
all an alternative angle away from embarrassment. Honestly, they should feel
Yeah.
embarrassed needless. I think
Mhm.
that
Oh
as
yeah.
we've lost shame's effectiveness as a society,
Yeah.
we should consider bringing bullying back in some capacity. I think we may be overcorrected in that direction a
Yeah.
little
Maybe
bit.
a little, but I think
Sh-
we can all agree they all deserve vacation. So,
yeah.
But
So hopefully
you know what, guys?
hey,
Not to
want
play
a collab? Want a collab? Want to want a
not to
collab?
play devil's advocate or influencer's
No, thank you.
advocate
He needs
in this
one.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah. But guys,
Won't somebody speak for the devil, please?
Please, our
who is
quiet Satan.
who is going to give us the content of come fly away with me to this over the water villa in Bora Bora,
I love
brought to
reels
you
that are
by
like
Hilton
6 places you
Gardens.
can't afford to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, hopefully you can break our returning guest curse of our the most money made by a returning guest being zero, while we
Oh,
also
that
have a returning
sucks.
guest who owes $3,000.
Okay.
So I'm hoping you can get in the green here because if there's people who need to go places, it's the people that already have had been there.
I agree. All right, we'll see what happens.
We'll present all 6 bets. Please just make sure you lock one in. That will be double the winnings or triple the losses. And you can allocate however you want. Parlays are acceptable. You can invent other things. We're
Hmm.
really, we have too few rules here for how dumb it is. I'll go first. I'll present my few. Here's my number one bet this week is Major League Baseball got what they wanted, and Los Angeles is playing New York in the World Series. Austin's Dodgers will be playing. I call this one. It's a real win for Cowboys Nation, if you will, because all
Hmm.
Cowboys fans are fans of one of these two baseball teams.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they all wear jorts.
Yeah. If only Alabama could win out and they would have all of their teams killing it. Um, I have this bet. Will there be more total Los Angeles or New York wins by the end of Monday night? So the baseball teams will play 3 times and 4 separate football teams will play. So will Los Angeles, which is the Dodgers and then, Rams and Chargers, have more wins than the Yankees, Giants, and Jets? The Rams play the Vikings, the Chargers play the Saints, the Giants play the Steelers, and the Jets play the Pats.
That's a
So
really great one.
it's the NFL teams are each one has one favorite and one dog, and the
Yeah.
tiebreaker will be baseball wins. So if somehow we're at a tie, which I don't think is possible because there's an odd number of games, but if there's just some weird thing happens and there's a tie, the tiebreaker will be which baseball team wins more. So more
So
LA
I'm gonna
wins.
yeah, I'm gonna
Or
pick New York. And how many of these bets are we doing?
we'll lay out 6 of them for you, so then you can
6. So I have $1,000 to spend.
yeah. So
Mhm.
but hang off
Yeah.
on the money just so because there might be something more
Okay,
enticing parlay you want.
Yeah.
got it.
That was the bet I was most proud of. That's why I led with it. My next one is called Hopkins Hops Kin. So DeAndre Hopkins has switched families from Austin's Titans to my Chiefs this
Mhm.
week. He
That's
hopped
great.
kin, if
Yeah,
you
that's right.
will.
I'm so happy.
It's weird. I was texting Austin about it. He never got back about this specific bet. The whole time we're talking about everything else and never got back to me at once about
Yeah,
this.
that's awesome. That's great. That feels
Um,
so good.
will DeAndre Hopkins there's probably a pretty good chance he plays this week for the Chiefs because I mean it's him or Sky Moore. So who they have an equal amount of catches for the Chiefs this year. And the Chiefs' second round pick from a year and a half ago, or DeAndre Hopkins, who has never been to the city the team is in, has an equal amount of. Will DeAndre Hopkins, who's now Hopkin, this works good for the vacation floaters, will he have more yards than any Titans wide receiver this week?
Oh,
So will DeAndre Hopkins outcatch any individual receiver on the Titans? Here's how the bet works. You get a 10% bet bump for every yard more or less than he has than the Titans' top receiver. So if he has 100 yards and Calvin Ridley
Mhm.
has 90, that will be a 10-yard bump. So you get a 100% bump to your win. You bet $100,
Okay,
you'd win 200.
okay,
But if he has 50 and Calvin Ridley has 100, you would have a uh, 50% loss in addition to just losing the bet. So you could lose $150 instead of 100. It's just a weird multiplier based on how much. If he doesn't play, this one's a push. I couldn't
Okay.
figure out anything
okay,
fun for if he doesn't play. I don't want it
okay.
to switch over to Sky Moore or Juju Smith-Schuster, who combined can't walk. Um, so that's my second bet. Hopkins, Hopskin. Third bet, Christmas presents. The last time the Chiefs lost was to the Raiders last Christmas. And that's who they're playing this week. Is the Chiefs are playing the Raiders. This is for sure going to be the storyline. I don't know. Who knows? Well, the bet is this: will there be more Mahomes touchdowns or Raiders turnovers? Will there be more Mahomes touchdowns in the game or
Okay.
Raiders turnovers? So based on how Mahomes'
Patrick,
career feels like an easy bet, based on Mahomes this season, who
yeah.
knows? I
Patrick
mean,
Mahomes is my fantasy quarterback this year, and that I don't know how he's getting all these wins for the Chiefs because he's gotten me literally 0 wins in fantasy
yeah.
this year.
I think the thing is they're just scoring more points than the teams are playing.
That's probably
I've
it.
seen that happen.
So, and there's a caveat to this bet as well because it's based on the Christmas game last year. If there's more mentions of the Christmas game than either touchdowns or turnovers, we all win. It's a Christmas miracle.
I love that.
So if
Okay,
they mention it 5 times, and I'm going to say it
okay,
has to be like brought back up, it can't just be a continuous. I think we're guaranteed one. They're going to talk
yeah,
about it,
okay,
but how often is
okay,
so I got LA or New York wins, Hopkin, and then the Christmas miracle.
okay.
Okay. My bets. I am in honor of our guest today, who is a proud Illinois State alum. Illinois State, of
Birds.
course, known as the Redbirds.
Hmm.
And so because they are known as the Redbirds, I'm going to take this one to Cardinals Dolphins this week. And Illinois State, as everyone knows, is in Normal, Illinois. So, simply put, is Cardinals Dolphins a normal game? And by that, I mean, are there no defensive or special teams touchdowns? No touchdowns over 60 yards, so like massive touchdowns. No scoregami, no one ejected from the game, and no touchdowns thrown by a skill player or caught by a non-skill player. So like someone out of the normal. All right. And if so it's a simple yes or no. Is it a normal game? Yes. Is it not? No. Uh
Can we put a
That-
caveat if there's like a thing we've never seen happens, that counts too, even though it's not on the
yes,
list?
yes,
If
yeah.
something
If there's
we've
something,
never seen this, a gamegami,
right?
if you will.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
and no, yeah, and like nothing like out of the ordinary to like stat wise either. Where if someone goes
All
off
time
for,
this record
yeah,
this.
like breaks the all time rushing single game
Yeah,
rushing
not like
record or
weird
something.
LeBron stats where they can like wedge it in and you're like, well, this was
Yeah,
invented to
yeah,
be a stat, but like
yeah,
something we haven't seen that's practical.
yeah,
Did you
yeah.
guys
Like,
know that he played with his kid? They had to play the game together for the first time
I
ever, a
saw
father and
that.
son.
I
well,
Did you guys
saw
hear about
that.
that?
certainly, there's been other father son duos to do that in the NBA before, right?
No, no, I think first time ever, guys.
I haven't seen
I can't
anything
believe
about
they
that,
didn't.
but I'll look into it.
It's weird. I can't believe they didn't make a bigger deal out of it.
I
Well,
really blame
certainly,
Minnesota for losing the game. Honestly, had the Timberwolves
Sure.
won, it would have been harder for everyone to just keep showing the highlights
Yeah.
over and over and over. Like when LeBron beat the scoring record, and then I think they lost the game, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay,
well, certainly they have very distinguishable names too,
Of
right?
course.
So you could tell
okay."
them apart.
Now you're mocking me because I drafted the wrong guy in the 5th round of my fantasy draft, and now I have a guy who has 6 minutes a game.
Oh, don't do that to your
Oh,
friend, Austin.
Yeah.
look,
Not nice.
that's for the Rudy comments earlier.
He's not the one who said it.
Sorry, we're
It
being
was
so
me.
putting the rude in Rudy. All
Uh,
right, all
all
right.
right.
What else you
Poor
got,
Kyle.
Austin?
My next bet is called Bear Down for Commander-in-Chief commercials. Okay.
Oh God. All right, go ahead.
Rangy is a big Bears fan. So for this bet, it's very simple. Which is more, the number of touchdowns scored in Bears Commanders or the number of political commercials? And this is based off of the Chicagoland broadcast. So I'm going to DVR the game, and I believe it is the Fox Game of the Week. It has been bumped up. Um, it was flexed into the 325 window. Is there more political ads, and it's all levels of government, or are there more touchdowns scored in Bears
Okay.
Commanders?
This might
Yeah,
end up
I
being
got it.
98-7.
This feels like a wipeout, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. Chicagoland, it's already a very blue state. I don't know if they're gonna run a lot of ads. You never know.
I see
I
him
live in
here.
Missouri. I live in Missouri, and I get it. Do you live in Missouri too,
No, I live in
Kyle?
Los Angeles and I still see the
Oh, you're in
political
LA.
ads.
Yeah, I live in Missouri, which it's about as red as you can get right now, and yeah, it's we're seeing a ton of them.
Yeah.
So I don't want to
Yeah.
give away my bet here, but I think you know what direction I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And watch. It's gonna be like a massive blowout. It's gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
it. No, like the Bears and
Oh, the
Commanders are
game.
combined
Yeah.
for like 17 touchdowns or something.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then lastly, Monday, we have done it, guys. We have made it. A sports equinox is coming our way on Monday. All four major sports will be in play: Major League Baseball, NHL, the NBA, and the XFL. No, I'm kidding. The NFL.
Excellent.
That'd be dope if it was, though, right? If we could get all five major sports in,
Football
I
and football.
yeah.
Hmm.
No, football and extreme football, dude.
Football.
Extreme.
The okay, so of these, I'm actually I am actually I want to focus this one. It's similar to Kyle's, but it's different. I want to focus these simply on the New York sports teams, because if you're not a fan of the New York sports teams, you hate the New York sports teams. So between the Yankees, the Giants, who will be playing Monday night against the Steelers, the Knicks, who will be playing Monday night against the Cavaliers, and there's not one of the New York hockey teams is playing, but the Buffalo Sabres are. So I'm going to use them for hockey. Of those four teams, how many wins do they get? I'm setting the over under at 1.5. So do 2 of those 4 teams win
Okay.
on the sports equinox? I'm calling this the sports New York Winox.
Wow.
All right, I'm just not even gonna write
Wow.
that down though. I wrote that. I
get
hand
the
wrote
I
that
feel
down, and I got a red
you know
squiggly line under it on my piece of paper.
I'm envisioning Austin probably in the car or something, and he's coming up with this bet, and he's like, "I got it, the Equinenwy knocked. I got it.
Equineox.
This one's
Equineox was right there.
this one's gonna kill."
I feel like he came up with it in like Clippy popped up in his car, and it was like, "Hey, it looks like you're
Are you,
wasting your time."
yeah, are you sure?
So
It
you got
looks like
All right,
$1,000, Chris, across
all
any
right.
of these, however you'd like to put them.
Clippy,
Parlays, lock
Clippy
one
just says,
in.
Clippy just says, it looks like you're coming up with a really forced pun.
Hey, it looks like you want to let Jesus take the wheel.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Ron, you got the 6 bets laid out. You
All
just
right.
bet on at least 2. You don't have to bet on all 6. Bet on at
Oh, I
least
don't?
2. No, you don't have to bet on all 6 if you don't want to.
Okay.
But bet on at least 2, and then one of them is going to be your lock, which is double the winnings, triple the losses.
Okay. Great. All right. So, the what was your third bet? It was the Pat Mahomes,
Christmas.
right?
Pat Mahomes touchdowns or Raiders turnovers. The Christmas
Okay.
presents.
This is going to be a real breakout game for Patrick Mahomes, where people finally understand how good he is as a quarterback.
Do people not? Do people
Hopefully
not?
he can get some coverage like
Well,
more than
I
just
haven't.
regionally.
Yeah, nobody's been talking about him, so I think it's time. This after this game, they will be talking about him more
Right.
than Christmas. So I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. Um, and I'm going to put down 150 on this.
Okay.
150. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm going with 2 of Austin bets here. I believe that first game will the Cardinals and Dolphins
Dolphins.
game will absolutely not be a normal game. I am going to put 150 on that.
Okay.
All right. And I'm also going with your political ads. I think this is going to be an absolute bloodbath. I'm betting 700 that there are more political ads than touchdowns. Jaden Daniels probably not going to play, right? Caleb's going to have a great day. I know that. But defense is both good enough that it'll hold it down a little bit. So there are going to be about 8 million political ads during the course of the game, even in Chicago. So $700. That's how
Okay.
that is my lock. I am
That is
locking
your
this one.
luck.
Yeah, and I am so confident that when this is over, I will own both of you.
Should I should now real quick before you lock in that bet,
Yeah.
should I alter the line to even it out a bit? Should I make it scoring plays? Does
No.
that change? Will that change your bet?
Scoring plays instead of touchdowns.
Yeah.
Still going 700. I'm going, dude. It'll be a week plus before what 8 9 days before the election.
Yeah.
Oh, come
Yeah.
on, man.
Okay. All right.
And
I'm
it's
going
Sunday.
score. I'm altering. I'm
And you have,
altering it to scoring plays.
if
Scoring
only there are
plays.
any like radical talking points that involve the phrase Chicago that you could see popping up in political ads.
Hmm.
No wide
Yeah.
brushes painted there politically across the
I
country.
can't see it.
Yeah. No,
I
no one
can't
ever
see
talks
it.
about Chicago when it comes to politics. Very rarely.
No.
Yeah.
I
Now,
can't
does
see
this
it.
count
So
weird ads about the White Sox moving to Nashville?
Ooh.
oh
People
my
are just
God.
campaigning for it.
I've heard rumors.
White Sox
Like
fans are campaigning for it. Yes, take them.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. Right.
Just go.
Campaigning for Jerry Reinsdorf to just sell the team.
Just
Hi.
yeah. Just
Paid for by
We got a
fans
high
of the Chicago
potential
White
here.
Sox.
You're locking in the ads one. This is a high winning potential here.
I
This
know,
is the
this
first
is-
place
Yeah.
lines we've got set out.
It really
that's
is.
life-changing money for the poor
That is.
influencers and
That's
their
2
vacations.
Hims ads for a bodybuilder.
Yes. That is life-changing money for somebody.
That is absolutely amazing. All right, Ranji, before we let you go, is
Yeah.
there we would like to know, is there anyone you would like to challenge on this podcast? Someone who you think with your total score that you will be able to beat by doing this podcast?
Of the two of you
Of anyone,
No.
anywhere.
Anyone, anywhere that you think
that I could,
that you think that if we got them on this podcast, you would kick their ass.
oh, Derrick Henry, because he's soft.
Not literally kick his ass, but okay.
I just wanted to say that because I know Austin would make him sad, and I live to make Austin sad.
Listen, a lot has made me sad this year. There's not a whole lot of joy in this world.
It's just
right
good. At
now
least
for
we
me.
haven't
No.
seen that Henry had anything left in the tank.
Yeah,
I knew he did. I never wavered on the
Not
fact that,
only
like,
did he
people are
have
like,
it left in the tank, he hooked another
He's-
tank on like a Mad Max car. He
rushed-
spray painted his mouth silver, said
he's
"Witness
got
me,"
that
and put a
guitar
tank.
player with the flames
Right.
coming out the frame. He's like,
Right, that's Lamar Jackson on the front,
Yeah,
just
that's him.
playing flaming guitar. Did he have any left in the tank? He has guzzoline's worth.
oh,
he had the statistically worst offensive line in football last year and still rushed for 1,300 yards. Like the worst offensive line. So yeah, then he goes to Baltimore, who has a really good offensive line. So naturally, people were like, "Well, here I thought Derrick Henry was washed." I'm like, "No, he's good. Like he's unlike anything we've ever seen."
Let's hope
in
the
football.
pattern continues for Titans
Yeah.
players fleeing for greener pastures.
He's the second best running back.
Oh, behind
pointing
you?
to- I thought you were flipping
jersey.
yourself off there for a second. You gave no context. Did you mean ever? Did you mean on your wall? Did you mean on the
Nah,
team? Some
yeah,
people say he's the
between-
second
wait a
best
minute,
running
hold on a
back on
second.
his team.
you were a running back?
Yeah, I was a running back. What position do you think I played? There's
I
not a
thought you
whole lot
played
of
like safety or something.
no.
You were a running back? What'd you
Yeah, I
do?
was a
Run
running back.
between their legs? Is that how you got?
Okay.
Is that how you
I
broke
hate
through the
you.
line?
I hate you so much.
Did you? Did you just scamper? Hey, there's our scamper back Austin Huff. Look
It was
at him.
literally it was
They
like it was
can't
like,
even catch him.
I don't know
chasing
if
a
I've-
child on a playground.
I don't know if I've
Everybody
ever
on the
said this
field.
on here before, but Austin and I were on an improv group together, and his parents came to the improv show once. They came in town, and I told him when they got there, I was like, "Hey, sorry to tell you, but Austin doesn't actually get to perform tonight." And they were like, "That's
Oh.
okay. We go to the football games, and the same thing happens."
Yeah. So Kyle was like, Kyle pointed to my dad and said, "You know what? You're on the trip tonight."
Yeah, yes, and you're on the group now.
The announcer's calling the game like balls loose on the ground. Oh no, wait, Austin Huff's carrying. You can't even see him. He's the little guy. The little guy. Oh, looks
Oh
like an
my
ant.
gosh.
Those ants
Man.
can carry like
Oh.
100 times their body weight, you know? That was like you
Yeah.
with the football.
The team looks
Yeah.
like they're participating in one of those Make-A-Wishes where they let a sick child go up
just
through
let
the
him
middle.
through.
Just
And then one of the other players doesn't get the message and just lays him out.
Yeah.
with his IV bag hooked in.
Oh, poor Austin.
Oh,
Austin,
well,
do you
good,
miss me?
Yeah. It was fun having you, Ranj.
Yeah.
good luck on your bets. I
Yeah.
think this could be a first place lineup. This could be a first place bet lineup here.
Kyle, did you congratulate Austin on his wedding a couple of weeks ago?
On my wedding.
Austin. So maybe you didn't hear Kyle, but Austin was having too much fun at our friend Josh's wedding. And at one point, Austin's wife says, "It's not your wedding, Austin."
Those are the ones you're allowed to have fun at. Other
Mara's the
people's.
best.
Yeah.
It's just a recurring theme. Everyone in my life just loves to roast my ass. It's
Oh
awesome.
man. Well,
Yeah, I feel like I'm back on the scout team again. Getting my ass
Oh.
kicked.
Except they weren't saying, "Oh, if you had half the heart of Huff over here, you'd be all American."
They're just talking about an enlarged heart, I think.
All right.
Thank you
cool.
for being
All
here.
right.
Good luck
guys.
with the bets. We'll let you know how they go. Definitely keep a count on those. Well, Austin will give you a count on those political ads.
Perfect.
Yeah.
If you threw in spam messages for places you don't live anymore, the over is done on this one.
Oh my gosh. I'm getting texts from both parties, and I'm like, how did you people get my number?
I'll just reply voting for the other guy now to all of them. Don't even read what they are.
Yeah.
Don't even read what
Yeah,
they
I'm just
are.
gonna ping pong back and forth.
It's like the people who are like, "Hey Diane, are you selling your house?" And I'm like, "Well, that's my mom." And no, I'll just be like, I always say, "Sold it yesterday to someone else. Sorry."
Right. I'm gonna text back. I'm gonna be like, if you text me one more time, I'm not voting for you, and neither are any of my dead relatives.
Just text back the word stop.
Vote early,
I
vote
do.
often. That's what I tell everyone. Vote as many times as you want, wherever you can.
I do. I say stop, and I do it aggressively, and they don't.
Well,
listen.
yeah, you can't put 80 O's in there, or the robot won't recognize it.
Stop. That's what I text back.
Awesome, Rangy. Thank you so much.
All right. Love
Got
you,
it,
Raj.
I'll let you get out of here.
See ya.
Appreciate it. Best of luck. We'll keep you abreast to the bets. All right, that was another big shout out to Rangy. I'll sit around and watch someone just slowly roast you on a Zoom.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I would too, I guess.
Let's get our bets in here and let everyone get back. You know what's crazy is Halloween falls so not near anything that we have really no Halloween bets. Maybe something for the next Thursday night game. Now that I think about it, maybe we can do that.
Yeah.
Usually, if it falls on that Friday, that Sunday, it's easier. But we'll see next week. This week we got. Here's where I got my money. I got $250 on Mahomes having more touchdowns than the Raiders have turnovers. Although I think it's going to be 16-15. I have, which would be a fun game. I'm picking LA to have more wins than New York. Put 150 on that.
Okay.
I'm saying a not normal Redbirds game for the Cardinals. Cardinals Dolphins are just two teams that don't. They're just two volatile teams.
Yeah.
And if Tua's back, who knows what's going to happen? We could see some very not normal stuff happening with the guy dying. And so I'm going to put 150 on that.
Oh
I'm going
my
to put
gosh.
$350 on the ads and lock that in. And then I'm going to say $100 on the under for New York teams. I think the Giants are going to lose. I think the Knicks are going to lose. And I think the Yankees are all going to lose on Monday. And I don't know or care about the Buffalo Sabres. So that's where my money is across those ones there.
Playing the reigning Cup champion Florida Panthers. Although the Florida Panthers off to a rough start, people don't talk about it enough. Should this become a hockey podcast?
I think people talk about hockey the exact right amount, especially the fact that the best team is in Florida. I think you shouldn't be allowed. You should have to leave ice outside for a week straight at some point without it melting for you to have a hockey team.
No, I don't want to agree with that because my favorite hockey team is in Nashville, and that would
but it gets cold for a week straight in Nashville at some point.
If the ice was out for that long, people would start pouring drinks over it. All right, my bets. I am going $100 on. Yes, I do think it is a normal game. I think it's just going to be run of the mill, maybe like 17-14 game. No scoregami, no one ejected. No crazy trick plays.
Okay.
I'm going $200 on the political ads. You guys, I thought this was I thought this was going to be a more even bet until you guys were like,
I saw political ad in Zoom during the meeting. This is where it's at this point.
Paid for by the Kamala Harris Fund Foundation.
What is so crazy to me about the ads is you'll see two ads, yes and no, for the same proposition that don't even sound like they're talking about the same thing. And like in Los Angeles, they'll be like, vote yes on Prop 3 to keep schools funded. And then it'll be like, vote no on Prop 3. You don't want dogs to have guns.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you're like, what
every
is this?
bill,
how are these the opposites?
Every bill has like the verbiage is always like so convoluted that to where people are like, well, I'm not voting for that bill because it says this in the fine print. And you're like, okay.
I voted and I read my ballot and they would show you who supports and who is opposed to various bills. And they'd be like, this one's supported by the people for the having of the doing foundation. And you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I don't know what that just said.
Do I like them? I like having and doing.
Yeah. I too haven't.
And then you look it up, and they're like, "These are people who want to make the Joker real." And you're like, "What? Okay."
Have you voted already?
Oh yeah, vote early, vote often. I vote once a day every year, pretty much. I'm figuring out whoever offers me the most money, I'm going to vote in those states too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Where's the rest of your money going?
$200 on that. I'm going $200 on the over in New York win totals. You'll notice a theme in my the way I bet this week. It's a lot of hedging of my bets between
Yeah.
hedging of either being happy on this podcast or just being happy in
Right. You're putting
life.
like the headspace in hedging.
Yeah, that's right. This is these are mental health bets right
It's like
here.
when I
So I
bet
don't
if
lose everything.
like yeah, you just bet it on your team to lose. And then if they win,
Yeah.
you feel good. It's like you
I
bought a win
cannot
for your team essentially.
so I was in Memphis earlier this week, and I had to fly down there Monday morning, and I was like, it was like for a work conference at St. Jude, and I was like, I really hope that the Dodgers close out on Sunday night, so I do not have to worry about this game and like
Yeah.
being tense and
And that was
stressed on
nice.
a game seven. And it was nice, and I didn't even have to worry about the World Series until Friday night. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this is like the greatest week of my
You get a
life until the
birthday
Titans
week where
traded DeAndre
your
Hopkins.
optimism is at the all-time high for the thing
Yes.
that's going on. You know what I mean? No, they can't win or
Yes.
lose a game.
Right. I'm like, oh, this is so like I might go to bed early tonight. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you won't, but I know.
I won't. No, I won't. So I'm going $200 on the political ads. I'm gonna go $200 over on the sports equinox. I already said that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go $100 on New York wins. Again, hedging of the bets. I'm gonna go $200 on yes, DeAndre Hopkins will outcatch any Titan, which is not hard to do so. I believe he
No, he
was
was only
the
3 yards away from being your team's leading receiver. And
yeah,
that's because
he
Ridley
was
had 140 in one game once.
DeAndre Hopkins was going to be the or he was the I believe the leading pass catcher just a couple weeks ago, and he had like 53 yards. So
Yeah.
it does not take much.
Okay.
And I don't even
I
know
mean, this
who's
could be
going
a
to be the
huge
starting
win
quarterback this weekend.
if he has like 50 more yards, you could win like $500 on top of the 200 here without even being a lock.
Yeah. And I didn't even understand that
I
caveat,
don't
but I
fully
liked
understand
it.
it because my pen
But
also wasn't working great.
yeah. I like it though. I'm like oddly intrigued by it. You know,
Yeah,
it's so I'll give anything a shot. So yes on DeAndre Hopkins out catches the Titans $200. If he doesn't, at least I'll be kind of happy. Maybe no, I
sure.
won't. There's
Unless
no
it's
part of me
four
that
to
is happy.
three.
There's no part of me that is happy on Sundays anymore. I haven't been happy on a Sunday since 2021.
And
Did I say that right? Is that how you
no,
say
yeah, I know how you
yours?
say years. Yeah. 2020 plus one.
I'm gonna go with Mahomes on the 200. Mahomes touchdown passes, or it's just touchdowns. Mahomes
Touchdowns, yeah.
touchdowns, or I'm gonna go $200 on that because I agree with Ranji. I think Mahomes is gonna kind of go off this week, but then also I like the mentions of the Christmas game. Hopefully that
Yeah.
gets brought up a couple of times, and then we,
I think it might end up being like 5 to 4 to 3 in whatever order this
yeah,
all goes in.
yeah.
All right.
Um, and
Great.
there we go.
What are you
Yeah.
locking in?
Ooh, I was kind of hoping you wouldn't ask me that. I'm gonna go. Oh, geez, I don't like this. I'm gonna go lock on New York wins.
The New York LA one or the over under 1.5?
No, I'm gonna go. Actually, no, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go lock in on the DeAndre Hopkins. Yes.
Wow. Could be a big win or loss.
Yeah.
Awesome. Crazy week.
Given
I mean, the
my
Hopkins
my
thing
age.
is we'll talk about it in the intro. Um,
Yeah.
everybody have a good week with good bets, good luck, good night, and go
Yeah. Good luck on your
Dodgers.
bets. Follow Kyle at Kyle Ayers on Instagram and Twitter, and at Kyle Ayers Things on TikTok. And you can follow me at Austin Huff.
Here's
But make
me.
sure you.
Sorry, I was gonna do. Here's me promoting Ben Gibbard on a podcast, and you can follow this guy into the dark. All right.
The and follow Cork Bats at Cork spelled with a K
Yeah.
at KORKEDBATS. Call that way you can keep up to date with all the happenings on this
The
podcast because it's
headlines,
dumb.
the scoreboard, the highlights,
Yep.
the clips,
Yep.
all that sort of stuff. If you're listening and you see these clips, throw them a heart because that's how more people see them. It's crazy to ask for that sort of stuff. Engaging with stuff is
Yeah.
how it gets in front of other people. And I
Look,
feel like
if you
sometimes we don't do it. I don't do it. You do it.
no. Yeah, if you like what we do, Help us out. Help us out with some engagement and stuff. We appreciate all of you guys who listen.
Yeah.
And even if you're a Titans fan listening, hey, my heart goes out to you. I'm right there with you. We're in this together. Okay.
Yeah.
We're in this together.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Love you. Good luck on your bets.